Well, after a hot and hazy day yesterday, we had 88 degrees out at the airport, 90 degrees down in Olympia. We're going to cool a little bit today, and we're also going to start to clear out the skies. We got a pretty good start yesterday as we started to see that ocean air work its way in. It's just taking a while to push its way through the warm air that's sitting there, and our onshore winds are going to be strengthening here today. You can see a pretty good looking day there in Bellingham right now with pretty good visibility. Still a teeny bit of haze out there in the distance, and we should start to get that cleared out of here as we head towards later today and tonight, pretty much up and down that I-5 corridor. A little bit of haze also showing up there looking out towards Possession Sound here at mid-morning. And there in Tacoma, it looks a little bit worse there, partly because of the angle of the camera looking towards the sun. That lights the haze up a little bit better than in the other cameras. But overall, they have moderate air quality around the Tacoma area this morning, so definitely improved there. And out towards the coast, well, it isn't smoke, it's just clouds that we have sitting over us. The marine deck clouds, they've been pushing in starting yesterday, and they pushed a little bit farther in today. I'll show you that in just a couple of minutes, and you can see it's bringing in some low clouds and fog. They probably won't clear until this afternoon, and their highs will only get into the upper 60s, but that cool, clean air is going to continue to work its way into Puget Sound during the day today and on into the weekend and get us into what should be a really nice stretch of summer weather for Puget Sound. Checking the warnings and watches. We do have a heat advisory out from the Weather Service again today, stretching from basically east of Puget Sound, just about everywhere till you get down there towards Pierce County, but east of Puget Sound from Whatcom County down to Pierce County. That goes until 10 o'clock tonight, though we are going to be cooling about 2 to 4 degrees today from yesterday with highs mostly upper 70s and low to mid 80s. The really big story, though, is east of the Cascades. Those onshore winds, which are really helpful for western Washington, spill over the Cascade Crest and produce gusty winds over there in eastern Washington. And you can see they have a red flag warning out, partly because of those gusty winds, which can fan the flames of existing fires, plus the fact they're going to be looking for temperatures today into the 90s to around 100 degrees. So really, really hot, very low humidities over there. So critical fire conditions where they can start easily and spread rapidly. So that starts at 11 o'clock this morning and continues until at least 11 p.m. on Saturday as they continue just to be buffeted by some really bad weather and bad smoke over there as well in eastern Washington. Checking the air quality here on the west side of the Cascades. You can see basically moderate air quality from Everett all the way down to Tacoma. And you see the effects of that onshore flow and the marine air working its way into good air quality around the South Sound, and then also there basically where the Strait of Juan de Fuca empties out that clean air from the Pacific there around Whidbey Island and up to the north. So looking good. The trend is definitely very good, and if we look at this afternoon, we're going to be looking for just about the same setup. It'll still be a little slow east of Puget Sound to clear out that haze, but it'll gradually work its way through and scour that out by later today. And we should be looking at good air quality up and down the Sound by tomorrow, looking pretty nice. Still a few places up towards the mountains that might be picking up some moderate, but they should be in the low end of that moderate range. So that's definitely good news there. Take a look at the winds. You can see developing over there primarily over here in eastern Washington. So as we head towards this afternoon, they pick up, looking for wind gusts in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range there around Wenatchee and really out into eastern Washington. They're not as strong as what we saw last Saturday, but still strong enough to fan the flames of those existing fires. We move on through Friday into Saturday. You can see in the morning still seeing those gusty winds, and then through the day on Saturday continuing to see gusty winds. They kind of keep going all the way into Sunday for that matter, maybe even picking up a little bit. So we'll be keeping close track. That red flag warning might get extended a little bit later into the weekend and maybe into the start of next week potentially. Checking our 7-day forecast for here in western Washington, though, different story. Things looking pretty nice now that we have the marine air moving in. So today we're going to cool a little bit, upper 70s, low to mid 80s, and we'll see that haze gradually disappear. Tomorrow it should be pretty much gone around western Washington. We'll continue to cool. Highs will be in the mid 70s to the low 80s. And then once we hit Sunday and really all the way through the week, we continue with generally westerly flow up and down through the atmosphere. That's going to continue to push marine clouds in during the night. Might see a few patchy areas of low clouds around the Sound in the morning, but not going to last very long. Back to sunshine and those temperatures right where they should be this time of the year. The normal high out at SeaTac 79 degrees right now. They're going to be running in the upper 70s and low 80s, it looks like, all the way through the end of next week. So a really nice stretch of August weather. Not too unusual, but always welcome when it does show up. Checking the satellite image, it definitely does show a story here. You can see the marine air has pushed its way in, and you see this morning, yesterday, if you recall, it just barely made it down to the very farthest reaches of the sound, pushed a little bit farther in today and a little bit farther through the strait all the way into Whidbey in that area, bring in that cool and clean air. And we're going to see it, even though it's going to retreat as we head towards this afternoon, it's going to continue to scour out and erode that smoke. And if you look carefully, once we get some daylight on it, you can see that smoke definitely still laying in here. The higher level smoke, as we were showing you yesterday, got blown away on Thursday, but this is just kind of stuck down there around Puget Sound, and it's going to have to scour that out and get rid of it. You can actually see it up into the river valleys there in the Cascades this morning. But again, by later today, this evening, even that should be out of there, and we should be in really good shape. And we're going to continue to see this, as I said, this onshore flow just giving us some patchy clouds in the morning and keeping us in a really nice weather pattern, it looks like. East of the Cascades, you still see all the smoke that's coming out of these fires. And some places have had improved conditions because of the winds coming through, but places that are downwind from those fires, really seeing a lot of smoke in particular. And I was talking about this yesterday, Entiat, which is right below the little giant fire there and comes down the Entiat River. Yesterday I was talking about the fact that we had over 1,500 for the AQI there for around Entiat by US 2. The interesting thing is if you look at those scales, they top out, the EPA scales top out at hazardous from about 3 to 500. Anything above that is just really unusual and very difficult to be in because it becomes increasingly bad for you to be in there. So I was looking at it this morning, and as you back at India, it was over 1,600 this morning, just the smoke coming right down the Indian Valley. And then up closer to the fire, it was actually up to about 2,600, which is just totally off the scale in terms of that. It said you really should not go outside at all, and you need to have really good filters for your HVAC in your home. So it was tough conditions continuing there in eastern Washington. Taking a look at the smoke here in western Washington, you can see that just some light smoke left over still. This is at the surface, so we put that in motion. You can see it just gradually diminishes as we head towards later today and this evening. And then overnight tonight, it pretty much just leaves western Washington. It should leave us with that good air quality. But you can see downwind from some of these fires, just really, really intense smoke continuing at the surface, and continue to see some really bad conditions over there in eastern Washington on into next week. It may take a while for all of this to finally settle down. Again, looking at our air quality today, we're starting off with the air quality in moderate range from Everett to Tacoma, and then good pretty much once you get away from there. Won't change much for this afternoon, but then we get that final push which kind of clears everything out as we head towards overnight tonight, and should be giving us good air quality. So you should definitely have blue skies along with a little bit cooler temperatures tomorrow, and then almost perfect summer weather as we head towards Sunday and on through the week next week. Checking some of those high temperatures up there in the northern areas, you can see pretty comfortable really around the Bellingham area over towards Anacortes, mostly in the 70s. As usual, it gets much warmer as you move inland towards the Cascades, and Marble Mount, usually the warmest spot up there will be again today. They'll get up to 88 degrees there. We look down there in Snohomish County, excuse me, anywhere from the upper 70s to the low to mid 80s, and not too different as you get down into King County. We'll be looking at quite a few low to mid 80s around there with some warmer temperatures as you move out towards the Cascade foothills, and that's definitely true once you get down there in the South Sound. Usually the warmest temperatures are really to the south and east of I-5 between about Tacoma and Olympia, and that's kind of what we're seeing. In Puyallup, oftentimes the station that we come out with the highest forecast high temperatures, and we're seeing that again though. It got up, I believe they got up to 91 or 92 yesterday, so they'll be cooling a little bit but still be fairly hot. Out there towards southwestern Washington, around Raymond, South Bend area, temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, mid 60s along the coast. Those clouds will probably hang around until late morning over the interior there, and then might take until early afternoon to clear out as you get out there towards the coastal beaches. And around the Olympic Peninsula, following that same pattern as well, right around the coast there, you're going to look for low to mid 60s with just some afternoon sunshine, and then as you move inland, warming up a bit with those temperatures getting to the 70s. And then on the east side of the peninsula, as usual, much warmer temperatures over there in the low to mid 80s. Checking east of the Cascades, we're looking for the wind to pick up. It's going to be gusty winds, gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour, and that heat that I was talking about. Expecting 100 degrees in Wenatchee, Yakima, and Moses Lake, 102 in the Tri-Cities, and over towards Spokane. looking at mid-90s most spots. So you can see that wind blowing all the way across eastern Washington. A really tough situation there. On a brighter side, Mariners are in town. They're playing the Rays over the weekend, starting a 3-game series today. We hope that works out well for them. You see a little bit of haze in the air, moderate air quality right now, but being by Elliott Bay, it's going to clean out pretty quickly. And by the time we get to game time tonight, should be in pretty good shape. I think we'll be approaching good air quality there. And temperatures, not all that bad. That first pitch should be right around 80 degrees, so a nice evening to be out of the ballpark. And it looks like by the end of the game, dropping back into the low to mid 70s. So definitely a shirt sleeve night at T-Mobile against the Rays. And as we head into the weekend, that's going to continue to be the case. It's a 6:45 first pitch for tonight. Tomorrow, it's a 6:50 first pitch. It should be in the low 80s at that point. Should be a pretty nice evening there again. And then on Sunday, mid 70s for that first pitch at 1:10 in the afternoon, looking pretty good. And then they head out of town, travel day on Monday. They're heading back to New York to play the Yankees for a 3-game series. So definitely go M's. Let's get this in gear and get things done. Checking the mountains, if we're going to do some hiking, still a little bit of haze up there, even in the Olympics at higher level smoke kind of being held in the valleys there, but that should get pushed out of there later on. If you remember the pictures from Paradise earlier in the week there on Mount Rainier, you could barely see the cars sometimes from this camera. So a little bit of haze up there, moderate air quality, and overall, though, not looking too bad up there to do a little bit of hiking. It'll be getting better as we get farther into the weekend. And looking up towards the summit, a much clearer view than we had earlier in the week. Overall for today, though, if you're going hiking, temperatures pretty warm this afternoon, getting into the mid 70s actually up there at Snoqualmie Pass. So a good day to hike in the shade. And tomorrow we should have clear air and also see temperatures drop back a little bit with highs mostly in the low to mid 70s. Here in the lowlands then today, look for those high temperatures, mid to upper 70s up there north of Everett, and then into the mid 80s as you get down there south of Everett around Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia. And as we head into Saturday, we'll see those temperatures continue to cool down a few degrees, especially around the Seattle area. And then definitely as we hit Sunday and Sunday onward, it looks like we're going to be looking at those temperatures generally in the upper 70s and low 80s most spots, though, as usual, a little bit cooler right near the water down at the low 70s there. We'll continue to see the morning clouds hanging out along the coast, it looks like, all the way into the weekend because of the onshore winds. So you won't be seeing the sun until afternoon if you head out to the coastal beaches this weekend. So back to that 7-day forecast, upper 60s, low to mid, excuse me, that's about a month or two away, hopefully. Upper 70s and low to mid 80s for today, mid 70s to low to a few mid 80s on Saturday. And then we settle into a great pattern with temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s, with just a few patchy morning clouds, otherwise sunshine all the way through the week. And if we look at the 6 to 10 day outlook in terms of the temperatures, you can see we warm up a little bit towards the end of next week, but pretty much stay in that pattern of upper 70s and low 80s out for the next 10 days. So really a great looking stretch of summer weather headed our way.